heart of where innovation, money, and power collide in Silicon Valley and beyond. This is Bloomberg Technology with Caroline Hyde and Ed Ludlow.
In the coming week, you have all of the social media CEOs in one place. Meta, for example, is adding further measures to protect teens from unwanted contact by turning off their ability to receive direct messages from anyone they don't follow or aren't connected to on Instagram by default. They're also increasing parental controls. These measures come ahead of a Senate hearing on online child sexual exploitation, where the CEOs of Meta, X, TikTok, Snap, and Discord will testify next week.
I think that we are going to be hearing from the Yubo perspective. Is, of course, this is a company that's building in collaboration with Meta and some of these other companies, social media companies, a way in which you can sort of self-police, a way in which they can put in guardrails and in many ways use artificial intelligence as a means of not just a worry when it comes to exposure for children, but more of a tool to heal, and a way in which that companies can identify when there's bad behavior going on, when there's child exploitation potentially happening across their platform.
Remember that this hearing next week was due to happen before the holidays, and my understanding from sources is they couldn't get their act together and the CEOs couldn't be in one place at one time. But you raise really good points. I brought up the election cycle. You bring up AI, and the thing that you and I hear all the time in the cybersecurity context is all of the great tools that we have to advance our work and things at home, the threat actors have to amplify malicious content. So it's going to be interesting if that's the point of focus that the lawmakers go after, because often when you get all these CEOs in one place, they don't focus really on
it's about sound bites, isn't it, unfortunately?
Point of conversation. There is a lot to pass over. Let's break it down with Sharone Franco, Head of Legal and Public Policy at Yubo, a Paris-based social discovery platform for Gen Z, which has just unveiled its own reference document on universal safety principles for young people online. Welcome to the program. We're very familiar with getting all of the CEOs of social media companies in one place. You know, what is it that you think the industry, the social media industry, needs to demonstrate to the public in the coming week?
They need to demonstrate, and I think it's already something that is already a work in progress. They need to demonstrate that they are invested and committed into tackling these issues and protecting children online. But I think that now we need to focus on solution, and I expect from this hearing, for example, that it will be focused on solutions, operational solutions, practical solutions. I think that's the purpose that the Senate is looking for with this hearing, not only having an overview of the issues, because we know the issues, we know the impact of the use of social media and the risk that the children are facing on using these platforms. But now we need to focus on operational solutions, and that's the work that we've been doing at Yubo also, really since the beginning of the company, working on finding practical solutions.
Let's talk about them then. In many ways, you are trying to ensure that someone is the age they identify themselves as. In particular, whether that's using photos and artificial intelligence to identify whether they are indeed older or younger than the age they've put in. Anyone under 13 shouldn't be using the app. How have you done that from a privacy perspective? How have you done that from an opt-in perspective?
You're pointing out one of the biggest issues when you talk about putting in place operational solution to, in terms of safety. It's the privacy obligation. So, as you know, Yubo is a French company, so we are European. So privacy and with the GDPR is something that comes natural for us. And that's why, since the creation of the company, we've been developed all our product safety by design, but also privacy by design is the work that we need to do at the same time, and it's doable. I mean, we can do it. It's just a question of priority, and also a question of at what moment you start to think about this question of compliance with privacy that you need to take in consideration, and. For example, one of the work that we've been doing is working with all the institution and administration in France, but also in UK, for example, to work on what obligation we need to integrate. And the work that we've been doing with the French standard organization, we created a working group with this agency. And in this working group, we had a lot of companies like Meta, for example, but also NGOs, child protection NGOs, but also institutions and agencies such as the French Data Protection Authority, for example. And we've come up with 100 pages of operational solution, giving guidelines and recommendations on how to protect minors online, how to protect minors on social media, how to moderate content, how to work on age assurance, because there's a lot of solutions today that we can use.
You've come here to talk to lawmakers, to show off this document and to see whether or not it will be adopted. Has it landed on ears that are welcoming? Are these sorts of 100 pages that you've given going to work in the United States as well as in Europe and the UK?
We hope so. We hope so. That's the purpose. That there's no reason why it shouldn't work, because we face all the same issues in terms of risk, but we also now kind of ending at a point where the legislation in terms of privacy, but also of child protection and social media legislation, it's kind of not the same everywhere, but we are heading all in the same direction. So there's no reason why it shouldn't work here. As I said, Meta was part of this working group, for example, and we had no difficulty ending up on something that we are all agreed on. And that's the way that's the thing we should keep in mind today. Multi-stakeholder work is the way we will achieve this purpose, and we will achieve and having a social platform that protects children and that are safe for them. That's really the goal that we all want to achieve, and that's So,
Sharone Franco, thank you for talking us through this document. And of course, many can go out there and see it, what you've made at Yubo, the head of legal and public policy. For this edition of Bloomberg Technology, nice to have you here.
Thank you. Check out the pod from New York City. And a little trip. There's the deets. This is Bloomberg.